All right, strap in everyone, because today we're diving deep into 33 battle-tested secrets for achieving market domination. I'm talking serious business strategy here, stuff you don't want to miss.
We're going way beyond playing nice. These secrets are about winning, really winning, and we're going to show you how to apply them to your own business.
That's what I like to hear. Now, the first thing that really jumped out at me was this idea of understanding the battlefield.
Sounds intense, but what does it actually mean for, everyday businesses?
It's all about strategy. Imagine you're a general, right? You wouldn't charge blindly into battle. You'd study the terrain. You'd analyze the enemy.
So in the business world, our battlefield is the market.
Exactly. And your competitors, they're the enemy. You got to know them inside and out. Their strengths, their weaknesses, their tactics, what they're good at, where they struggle.
We're talking deep recon here, not just glancing at their website. We're studying their every move.
That's right. But it's not just about the competitors. It's about the market itself. The trends, the technology, what customers want. Like, if Blockbuster had understood how Netflix was changing things, they might still be around today.
Precisely. Adapt or die, right? That's why agility is so crucial. Don't get stuck in your old ways. You got to be willing to evolve, to anticipate trends even before they become mainstream.
Almost like having a crystal ball. But instead of magic, it's research and analysis, maybe a bit of intuition too.
Exactly. Recognize the signals, the whispers of what's coming next, and then be bold. Make moves before anyone else catches on.
Makes sense. But this is all pretty intense stuff, all this strategizing and market analysis. The source material also talks about staying calm under pressure. And I can see how that would be important, but how do you actually keep a cool head when the business world throws all this craziness at you?
Well, pressure is a part of the game. It's almost like a crucible, It forges resilience. The key is not letting emotions cloud your judgment. Make clear-headed decisions, even when it feels like everything's going sideways.
So when everyone else is panicking,
right,
we got to be the steady hand at the helm.
Exactly. A panicked leader creates a panicked team, but a calm, collected leader, that inspires confidence, helps everyone find a solution.
Okay, deep breaths. Channeling my inner Zen master right now. But calmness alone won't win the battle, right? This material is all about action. So what's the next step on this strategic roadmap?
Creating a sense of urgency. Think of it like a fire. A controlled burn that gets rid of complacency and keeps your team moving forward with purpose.
So not frantic chaos, but more like everyone understanding that time is valuable and opportunities don't wait around.
You got it. Everyone understands the goals, they're aligned with the vision, they're motivated to move quickly, decisively.
I'm starting to feel that spark already. But I do wonder, we've talked about understanding the market, the competition. Is there a danger in getting too focused on what everyone else is doing?
Absolutely. That's where avoiding groupthink comes in. Even with a great team, if everyone's always agreeing, you're in trouble.
Ah, the echo chamber. Seems cozy at first, but then you miss those fresh perspectives. You get those blind spots, and those could be disastrous.
Exactly. You need those dissenting voices, the ones who challenge assumptions, push boundaries, say, hey, what if we're missing something?
So a culture where debate's welcome, encouraged even, where different viewpoints are seen as assets, not threats.
Exactly. That friction, that clash of ideas, that's where innovation comes from.
This is gold. But before we get too carried away with all these bold moves and ideas, the source material emphasizes focus, really honing in on your core competencies. Can you break that down for us? What does that actually look like in practice?
Think about it this way. Every business, it has its strengths, right? The things it does really, really well, better than anyone else.
Okay, so we're talking about finding that sweet spot, that superpower, that unique thing that makes you, you.
You got it. Don't try to be everything to everyone. You'll just end up being mediocre. Double down on what you do best. Make it your edge, your unassailable advantage.
All right, so we've identified our superpowers, we're avoiding the echo chamber, and we're moving with a sense of urgency. I feel like we're building some serious momentum here. But what's the next step in this strategic master plan?
Now it's about turning your business into a mission-driven entity. This is about more than just profit. It's about purpose, a deeper purpose, something that resonates with your team, with your customers.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds a bit idealistic. Isn't the main goal of business, to make money?
Profit is important, of course, but the businesses that really make it, they're fueled by something more. Think about companies like Patagonia, TOMS Shoes. They're committed to social causes, environmental causes. It's part of their identity.
It attracts customers who share those values.
Right.
And it probably makes employees want to work harder, knowing they're contributing to something good.
Absolutely. It's win-win. Purpose and profit aligned.
Powerful stuff. Now, we've got our mission, we're laser focused on our strengths, but with so many paths to victory, how do we actually choose the right battles to fight?
Strategy. You can't win them all. Focus on the ones that have the most potential, the ones that align with your big picture goals.
Picking our battles, prioritizing the ones that will really move the needle.
Exactly. Don't get stuck in those little skirmishes that just drain your energy and distract you from what really matters.
So sometimes the best move is to walk away, regroup, focus on the battles that truly matter.
You got it. Be strategic, not reactive. All right, let's talk about outmaneuvering the competition. Are there any, unconventional ways to gain an advantage? Things people might not immediately think of. One that often gets overlooked is actually leveraging your competitor's strengths.
Wait, what? How do you turn someone else's strength into your advantage? I'm not sure I follow.
Let's say your competitor has this huge product line. You could position yourself as the specialist, the go-to for a specific niche within that market.
I see. You're finding those gaps, those unmet needs, and offering a solution that with their broader focus, they might be overlooking.
Exactly. Another powerful way to outmaneuver them is to play the long game.
I've heard that phrase a lot. But what does it actually look like in the world of business?
It's about resisting those quick wins, those fleeting trends. Focus on building a solid foundation for long-term success, the kind that lasts.
So, being patient, making decisions that might not pay off immediately but will compound over time, like investing in your team, building a strong brand, customer loyalty, all that good stuff.
You got it. Think long-term, like a chess master, several moves ahead, setting yourself up for victory down the line.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, no matter how strategic we are, there will be bumps in the road, right? There will be losses. How do we deal with those inevitable defeats?
That's where accepting small losses comes in. You can't win every battle, but you can learn from every defeat.
So setbacks aren't failures. They're opportunities to learn, to grow.
Exactly. Sometimes a small loss is a lesson in disguise. It shows you where your strategy needs to adapt, where you need to pivot.
This is really resonating with me. Okay, so we're playing the long game, learning from our setbacks. We're even leveraging our competitors' strengths. What's next on this strategic playbook?
Let's talk in-depth competitor analysis. I'm talking more than just knowing their products and services. I mean, understanding their entire approach.
We're going full-on business detective here, right? Financials, marketing campaigns, leadership styles, even their company culture.
Exactly. The more you understand them, the better you can anticipate their moves, find those weaknesses, and use them to your advantage.
Feeling like Sherlock Holmes right now. Ready to crack the case. So we're gathering all this intel. What do we actually do with it? How do we use it to, outsmart the competition?
You look for the gaps in their strategy, the things they've neglected, the opportunities they've missed, and then you swoop in, offer a solution they can't match.
We're turning their weaknesses into our strengths. I like it. Now, speaking of strengths, what about leadership? What role does that play in all this?
Leading by example is absolutely crucial. You can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk.
So inspiring speeches are great, but you have to embody those values yourself, right?
Exactly. Your work ethic, your attitude, your commitment, it sets the tone for the entire team. If you're slacking, they will too. But if you're pushing yourself to be better, to go the extra mile, your team will rise to the occasion.
Lead from the front, show them what excellence looks like. Okay, feeling fired up, ready to lead the charge. What's next?
Now it's about setting the pace. Don't just react to what everyone else is doing. Be the trendsetter.
Okay, so proactive, not reactive. Dictating the terms of engagement instead of always playing catch-up.
Precisely. The companies that really win, they disrupt the status quo, they challenge conventions, they force everyone else to react to them.
I like the sound of that. But how do we actually become those disruptors, those pace setters?
Vision, courage, and a willingness to take risks. Be the first to try new technologies, introduce those groundbreaking products, those unconventional marketing approaches.
Push the boundaries, be bold, never settle. I'm getting the picture here. It's about more than just winning. It's about shaping the future.
You got it. And a big part of that is owning your niche.
We talked about that earlier, right? Leveraging your competitors' strengths by finding that niche they're overlooking. But how does owning a niche actually lead to, dominating the market?
If you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing special.
So focus your resources, your energy, become the expert in one specific area.
Exactly. You become the go-to, the trusted authority, the leader. You build those deep relationships with customers, they become loyal. You can even charge more.
Makes sense. Okay, we've carved out our niche, we're setting the pace, leading by example. What's next? How do we really solidify our position as the market leader?
Strategically chip away at the competition. You don't have to crush them overnight. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So small, consistent wins, always improving your products, going above and beyond for customers, always trying to outmaneuver your competitors.
Exactly, like a sculptor, slowly chipping away at the marble to reveal the masterpiece inside.
Slowly but surely, taking their market share, winning their customers, establishing ourselves as the dominant force.
That's the idea. Now, remember those competitor weaknesses we talked about? Time to put that knowledge into action.
Ah, yes, exploit those vulnerabilities. This is where things get interesting.
Right, let's say they're known for slow shipping times. You offer same-day delivery, expedited shipping options, boom.
You're hitting them where it hurts, addressing those needs that they're neglecting.
Turn their weaknesses into your strengths. Okay, so we're exploiting weaknesses, we're chipping away at the competition, always striving to be better. What else can we do to really solidify our position at the top? Dominate from all angles. Don't just be in one place, be everywhere your target audience is.
You're talking about a full-court press, covering all the bases.
Online presence, social media, content marketing, PR, even offline events, partnerships.
Create this inescapable web, constantly reinforcing your brand.
Exactly. Now here's a powerful one. Box your competitors into a corner.
Ooh, that sounds aggressive. How do we do that?
Think like a boxer. You don't just stand there and take punches, you control the fight.
Be proactive, dictate the terms, force them to react to our moves.
Exactly. Set pricing that undercuts them. Launch products that disrupt the market, make them play catch-up.
This is a real power move.
Uh-huh.
I like it. We're not just competing, we're controlling the game. Okay, now, let's talk about expansion. When you're growing, making waves, it seems like the perfect time to, strike better deals.
That's right. Leverage that success to negotiate from a position of strength.
Use that momentum to get better terms, exclusive contracts, partnerships that really benefit us in the long run.
Absolutely. When you're on the rise, people want to be a part of it.
Okay, ready to channel my inner negotiator. But what about knowing when to walk away? Sometimes it's better to retreat than to advance. Right?
Absolutely. Knowing when to exit, that's key.
So sometimes the smartest move is to just walk away.
You got it. A product that's not performing, a market that's too crowded, a strategy that's run its course. Recognizing when to cut your losses is crucial.
Be objective. Analyze the situation, make tough decisions. Sometimes a strategic retreat sets you up for a bigger win later on.
Now let's talk about innovation.
That's essential, right?
Yeah.
But how do we go beyond those small improvements and really push the boundaries?
That's where rational creativity comes in. Data-driven decisions and innovative thinking all rolled into one.
We're not just following our gut or chasing fads. We're grounding our creativity in solid data.
Exactly. Data gives you understanding, it helps you identify trends, make informed choices, but creativity, that's what lets you see beyond the obvious. Imagine new possibilities, come up with solutions that nobody else has thought of.
Data as the compass, creativity as the engine. I like that. Okay, now what about keeping our competitors on their toes?
You gotta be unpredictable. Don't be afraid to shake things up. Launch products that disrupt the industry, try those off-the-wall marketing campaigns, even shift your business model if that's what it takes.
So constant innovation, pushing boundaries, keeping them wondering what we'll do next.
Exactly. Surprise is a powerful weapon. It throws them off balance, generates buzz, gives you a serious advantage.
Okay, this is all great. But with all this talk of competition and domination, is there a risk of, losing our ethical compass?
Excellent point. And it leads us to our next principle. Position yourself as the ethical leader.
So winning isn't everything. It's about winning the right way.
Absolutely. Customers, employees, investors, they're all looking for businesses that operate with integrity, transparency, a commitment to doing the right thing.
So ethics aren't just a nice to have, they're a must have.
You got it. When you're the ethical leader, you attract top talent, build stronger customer relationships, and create a brand people actually trust.
This is making me think about the kind of legacy we're building, not just the profits. All right, so we're being ethical, we're surprising the market. But what about protecting everything we've worked so hard to build?
That's where building barriers to entry comes in.
We're talking about making it really, really tough for our competitors to catch up, like building a moat around our business.
Exactly. What makes you unique?
Yeah.
What are those assets, those advantages that are difficult to copy.
So identify our strengths, the things that set us apart, and then find ways to protect them, make them even stronger.
Right. Whether it's your technology, your brand reputation, your customer base, your team, these are the elements that make up your defenses.
Okay, this is all coming together. Innovating, disrupting, building barriers. But is there a risk of, getting so focused on the day-to-day that we lose sight of the bigger picture?
Excellent point. That's why it's crucial to remember your why.
Our why. What do you mean by that?
Why are you doing this? What's the driving force behind your passion, your vision? Why are you so determined to succeed?
You're talking about purpose, right?
Right.
Our mission, the reason we get out of bed every morning and put in the work.
Exactly. When your why is strong, it fuels you. It helps you make decisions, stay focused, even when things get tough.
This makes me think about the impact we want to have, the legacy we want to leave behind. It's about more than just money. It's about building something meaningful, something that contributes to the world.
And that's what separates the truly great businesses from the rest. Welcome back, everyone. Ready for more game-changing strategies?
Absolutely. I'm all ears. Give me those secrets.
Okay, well, we were talking about building an unassailable business, right? Like a fortress.
Right. A business that's built to last.
Exactly. And a key part of that is strategic alliances, those partnerships that can help you grow faster, reach new markets, tap into expertise that maybe you don't have in-house.
Yeah, the power of collaboration. But, I imagine not all partnerships are created equal. How do you find those really good ones, the ones that actually make a difference?
You got to be smart about it. It's not just about finding anyone who'll team up with you. Their values need to align with yours. Their strengths should complement your weaknesses. And you got to share a similar vision for the future.
So, strategic, not just opportunistic. And I bet there's a real art to negotiating those alliances, making sure it's a win-win for everyone involved.
Oh yeah, for sure. Don't be afraid to negotiate, to get terms that benefit both sides. But always, always be clear on what you want to achieve. What are your objectives? How will this partnership help you get there?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Strategic alliances, definitely something to consider. But, confession time. Sometimes I get a little impatient. I want to be on the offensive, making moves,
I get that, but sometimes the best move is actually no move at all.
Wait, what? You're telling me sometimes the best way to win is to do nothing? How does that even work?
Think about it. While your competitors are out there rushing into things, making those impulsive decisions, overextending themselves maybe.
We can sit back, watch, and learn from their mistakes.
Exactly. Let them be the guinea pigs, right? Test the waters, you conserve your resources, wait for the right opportunity.
This is all about strategic patience.
Yeah, you got it. Not passive, not complacent, just strategic. Analyze the situation, gather your intel, wait for the perfect moment to strike.
Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes you got to play the waiting game. Now, we've talked a lot about understanding the competition, but there was this one strategy you mentioned that really piqued my interest, getting inside their minds.
Ah, yes. This is where things get a little more psychological. You really want to outmaneuver your competitors. You got to understand their motivations. What are they afraid of? How do they make decisions?
So it's not just about their products, it's about their psychology, their culture, what they want, what keeps them up at night.
Exactly. You got to become a bit of a business psychologist. What makes them tick?
Okay, I'm all for a little mind reading if it gives us an edge. But how do we actually do that? Ethically, of course.
No need for anything shady. You can learn a lot by studying their public statements, their marketing, their social media. Look for those patterns in their decision-making, their hiring, how they react to changes in the market.
So be observant, analyze everything, kind of build a psychological profile based on what they say and do.
Exactly. The more you understand them, the better you can predict what they'll do. You'll see those weaknesses, and you can use that to your advantage.
I like it. A little bit of business espionage, but the legal kind. Now, I remember you mentioned another strategy that sounded kind of fun, a little bit mischievous, creating doubt in our competitors.
Well, a little bit of psychological warfare, right? If they always know what you're going to do, they can easily counter your moves. But if you keep them guessing, they'll be on the defensive, wasting time and energy trying to figure you out.
Okay, so being unpredictable, keeping them off balance. But how do you do that without, losing sight of your own goals?
You have to be strategic about it. Unpredictable, yes, but not random. Don't just do things to be different. Think about your long-term objectives. How can you achieve them in ways they won't see coming?
So, being unpredictable in a planned way, every move has a purpose.
Exactly. Now, with all this talk of strategy and competition, it's important to remember, success doesn't happen overnight.
Patience, right.
You got it. Be patient with time. Those big wins, they often take planning, execution, and yeah, a healthy dose of patience.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. I get it. It's going to be tough sometimes. There will be setbacks, but you got to stay focused on the long game. Trust that you'll get there eventually.
That's the mindset. Now let's talk about your team.
Ah, yes, the people who make it all happen. The heart and soul of the business.
Exactly. And that's why motivating them is so crucial.
So it's not enough to just hire good people. You have to create an environment where they can do their best work, where they feel invested in the company's success.
You got it. People are motivated by more than just a paycheck, right? They need to feel valued, respected, challenged. They need to see how their work makes a difference. And they have to believe in what you're doing, in your mission.
So it's about creating that culture, purpose, passion, collaboration, where everyone feels like they're a part of something bigger.
Exactly. When you inspire your team, empower them, give them something to believe in, they'll go above and beyond to make it happen.
It's so true. I've seen it firsthand. Okay, so we're motivating our team, we're being patient, and it feels like we're coming full circle here. You mentioned one final strategy that kind of ties everything together.
You're right, and it might sound familiar, but it's worth repeating. Keep them guessing.
Okay, you've said this a few times now. I'm getting the message. But why is it so important? Why is this the key to, long-term success?
Because the minute you become predictable, your competitors, they know what you're going to do. They can plan for it, counter your moves, maybe even get ahead of you. But if you're constantly innovating, evolving, surprising them,
You keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
You maintain that edge.
that's it. Never stop learning, never stop growing, and never, ever let your competitors get comfortable.
This has been incredible. So many great insights. I feel like I've just taken a masterclass in business strategy.
I'm glad to hear it. But remember, knowing these things is just the first step. Now you have to apply them.
That's right. Time to put all this wisdom into action. We're back, ready to wrap up this deep dive into business domination. I'm feeling pretty fired up after all this.
Good, that's what we want. And we've got some powerful stuff left to cover.
Okay, bring it on. Let's hear those final game changers.
Remember, we've been talking about being unpredictable, right? Keeping those competitors guessing.
Yeah, keeping them on their toes.
Well, that leads right into this. Disrupt the market.
Disruption. This is a bit scary, to be honest. I mean, how do we do that without things completely backfiring?
It's not about chaos. It's about strategic innovation. Think Uber, Airbnb. They didn't just create new products, they changed whole industries.
They saw a need, a gap in the market, and they just went for it.
And they challenged the status quo, offered solutions nobody else had even thought of.
So it's about seeing things differently, having that vision and then the guts to actually make it happen.
Exactly. But even when you're disrupting things, you got to keep ethics in mind.
Right, ethical leadership. We've talked about that. But it's a tough world out there. How do you stay ethical when everyone else is playing dirty?
It's more important than ever. Ethical leadership builds a business that lasts. It's not just about profit, it's about being responsible, doing things the right way, even when it's tempting to cut corners.
So building trust, being transparent, making decisions that are good for everyone, not just the bottom line.
You got it. Now, we've talked about innovating, disrupting, but what about protecting everything you've built?
Yeah, making sure nobody can just come in and copy what we've done.
That's where building barriers to entry comes in.
Creating those defenses, those walls around your business.
What makes your business special? What can't they copy? That's what you need to focus on.
Our strengths, those things that set us apart, make us unique.
Exactly. Your technology, your brand, your customers, your team, these are your barriers.
This has all started to make a lot of sense. But it's a lot to take in. It's easy to get lost in the details, isn't it?
That's why it's so important to always remember your why.
My why.
Why are you doing this? What drives you? What's your vision? Why do you want to succeed?
It's about purpose, right?
Yeah.
What gets me out of bed in the morning.
Exactly. It's your fuel. It keeps you going when things get tough.
And it's about more than just money. It's about having an impact, building something that matters, something I can be proud of.
That's what it's all about. That's what separates the great from the good.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel like I've learned so much.
I'm glad to hear it. But remember, knowing this stuff isn't enough. You gotta use it.
That's right. Time to put these secrets into action.
Go out there, build that amazing business, make your mark on the world.
And to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it valuable. We'll see you next time.